The content of this podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. It is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the guidance of your healthcare provider with any questions you may have regarding your mental or physical health. The views expressed are those of the host and guests and do not replace personalized care from a licensed professional.
Welcome to Mindful Moments with Pedro Morante, a space where a nurse practitioner and educator shares real talk on mental wellness, mindfulness, and navigating life in and out of healthcare. Let's take a moment to breathe, reflect, and grow together.
What will you tell the older Billy?
Oh, the older Billy? Oh, careful with them alcohol. Careful. If I could have just skipped the trying and really being addicted to alcohol, I would have. So that's it for me. I needed to go through things in my life to actually learn what I'm capable of doing and what I'm capable of being. So I don't regret a lot of things apart from that time of being an alcoholic.
So welcome to Mindful Moments with Pedro Morante. I will be featuring a very important guest for today. Our episode title today is Beyond the Spotlight, Billy Crawford on Fame, Fate, and Finding His Light.
Doc, pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much for having me here to your beautiful home and beautiful spot. Thank you very much. What's up, everybody?
Yes, thank you. And I've been following you when I was growing up watching us on TV. And wow. Now I could not believe...
You make me feel so old, man.
Could not believe that I'm interviewing you right now. So thank you so much for sharing this mental health platform.
Appreciate it.
As I've said, I'm a mental health advocate and also helping patients and also creating awareness to our Filipino-American community about mental health, which is very important.
Very, very important.
Thank you. Shall I call you Billy Joe? I know your real name is William.
My real name is not William. Whatever Wikipedia has written is absolutely wrong because my name is actually Billy Joe.
Billy Joe.
Billy Joe Ledesma Crawford. So no, I'm not a William.
I think we need to correct that one.
Yeah, no, Wikipedia sucks.
Yes,
they don't know what they're talking about. Resource. Never trust Wikipedia. Yeah. Only Google.
Thank you for that correction. And I know that you practically grow up on stage, and at the same time, you've been in the industry. I know there's a lot of shifts through the industry with issues of relevance and also being able to connect with the audience. Tell me, what kept your journey on going through highs and lows of this very drastic industry?
Well, I guess it was way different when I started than now. Since when I started, it was the 80s. So like social media wasn't big then, and people weren't so attracted to the personality of anyone. Actually, they were just, idolizing, or they really look up to a certain artist for music, whether it's local or international. So I grew up differently. So transitioning was quite a little bit more simple than it is now. Because if I'm an artist who started now, it'd probably be really hard to penetrate anywhere in the world right now because it's just oversaturated with a bunch of artists. But having, I guess, my family always there, and for me, finding God and having faith, and pretty much going through life the way anyone should, I've been through. So I never really, I've done my fair share of burnouts in my life, but I never really got into things really hard in my life. So I've been quite blessed kahit papano.
Great. You also did not only conquer the Philippine industry, but you are global. I know you won the Dancing with the Stars in Paris.
France,
yeah. So back-to-back achievements for you. That's why I think we consider you as like a global icon.
Appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much. But I mean, I'm still not exactly where I want to be. Kahit papaano, you know, I'm 43 years old. I'm still not where I want. That's crazy. But I guess I'm just really thankful that I was given the opportunity and the talent to do what I do. So like it's not easy. It's just pure hard work. Just for you, just like anybody else that's out here, you know, it's a job. It's work. You have to work on your craft. So it's nothing simple. Kahit papaano.
Yes, thank you so much for that. And fame can cause some mental health issues too, like anxiety, point of comparison, and sometimes self-sabotage, wherein you think negative about yourself. Have you ever encountered this in your life? And how did you cope with it?
Well, back in the days, I don't want to sound like one of those, but I feel like one of those, like the old guys. But it is true. Back in the days, I dealing with anxiety and mental issues and depression was something new before. It was, you know, like I grew up where my parents were like, if I'm going through a certain problem, you know, they'd be like, well, you deal with it. You know, this is fear. This is called, you know, this is certain emotion and blah, 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 blah. So it was just a different way of upbringing. But I think nowadays it's so easy to become sensitive to the environment that we're in because everything is on social media. We get to see right straight through anybody you want to see and look at, you know? So I think it creates certain issues and certain health issues mentally because kids are becoming a little bit more sensitive nowadays. And as you said, you know, they tend to self-harm and people go, it's real, you know, people really go through mental health issues. But everyone, I guess, for me, from my personal experiences, everyone handles it differently. You know, thank God I never got to the point where I needed to take steady medication for my anxiety or depression, antidepressant pills or whatnot that I have to deal with. And some people have to. And I've known a lot of artists who really get caught in alcohol, get caught up in drugs, get caught up in certain things just to numb the certain situations that they're in. Thank God that I've always been pulled out of those situations where I'm surrounded by it on a daily basis, you know, being in showbiz. But I've managed to actually have that barrier between what's right and what's wrong. So, you know, I'm really thankful for my family for that. But in any case, I go through normal problems like normal human beings do, you know. So if I may suggest to other people that are in any industry that have become successful and then, you know, had a reality check at some point and going through, if I may suggest, since they have doctors and physicians here available like you, it's really good to reach out. You know, a lot of people are scared to reach out, scared to talk about mental issues. And I think they just have to have a little bit more courage, especially in the Philippines. You know, we go through a lot of these issues in the Philippines and no one normally knows how to deal with it. So it's kind of hard.
Yes, when they hit rock bottom, that's the time we're in. It's
a little too late. You know, sometimes people hit rock bottom. It's sad, but it turns into little accidents that we don't want to happen. So,
yes, and the accessibility of therapists, probably psychiatrists or mental health provider.
It's much easier to find those here than it is over there in the Philippines, and I really hope that, you know, we'd be able to cater to the youth and to people that are in dire need of mental aid.
Yeah, and the stigma too around it, like we don't talk about it.
No, absolutely not. People are scared to talk about it. You know, people are sensitive about it. But, you know, if people are going through real problems, they should really contact some people that can help.
Thank you, Billy. Now, you've reinvented yourself so many times, right? From teen star to pop icon to a family man. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you
Billy
very
just
much.
gave birth 2 months ago. Am I correct?
Yep, my second child, my wife, the queen. Salute to my wife.
You miss them for sure.
Oh my God, yes, super. Like I cannot wait to have them back in my arms.
That's good.
That's the problem about being away and traveling and doing what I do. It's sometimes there's a certain sacrifice that we have to make as parents, that I get time off away from my family. But it's cool too. I get to connect with cool people and mga kababayan here in America. And it's been a while. It's been so long since I last moved and lived here, but it's also so long since I've done shows for our Filipino kababayans,
Yes. I think the last time I saw you was with Sarah.
I was about to
Sarah
say,
G,
I
Sabbath
definitely
Theater.
know it was Sarah.
Yeah.
That was my last show with anyone here in the States, so it was difficult.
Yeah, we miss your show, so it's
man,
good to have you here in
I'm
LA,
excited.
guys.
I'm excited.
Now, there's often a lot of perception about the glam of showbiz, right? But not the exhaustion behind it. Can you take us back to a moment when everything looked perfect on the outside, but you were silently struggling on the inside?
There's a thing called it's really important, and I think it's the key to all physique for all people. There's a thing called youth.
Okay.
There's a thing called youth that all of us here that we can't relate to anymore. Okay, and it's nothing simple to abide by, but I think staying active and keeping healthy is a major problem for a lot of artists because of traveling, time difference, and I was I was an alcoholic at one point in my life, and I recovered as an alcoholic. I was really addicted into cigarettes and this and that. So there was a lot of these things that was making my physique really old. At one point, I don't know if you guys noticed, when I was in Showtime, I was 230 pounds. You know what I mean? I was heavy. I was a heavyweight in Showtime, and I would be joked at by Vice or by Vong with all the weight jokes and stuff. So I went to this whole keto therapy and keto diet and intermittent fasting and this and that, and I got really concentrated into health, lost all my weight, and that's after a few years after, I ended up just stopping completely alcohol. I've been sober for the past 8 years now. I don't drink, I don't smoke, so it's been it's easy to get caught up in those things when you're in the industry, and it's easy to get lost in those things. So thank God that I managed to veer away from that.
Yeah, you were able to at least circumnavigate also those stressors, and also change your ways.
It's a stressful environment to be in. It's a stressful, how we say, it's a stressful job. Just like a 9-to-5 job would be kind of like boring or repetitive or a cycle. Us, we're always on the move. We're always talking. We're always moving. We're always flying. We're always traveling. We're always, meeting people and opening our hearts to people and just vice versa. That's a lot of energy given and taken, So, yeah.
So from being overworked to, did you ever felt burnout?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I ended up breaking my jaw, 2004 or something like that, or 5. I ended up breaking my jaw because I was over fatigued. I had pneumonia. I went back to the Philippines from being on tour for 2 years in Europe. And I went back to the Philippines for vacation, and I had pneumonia. I went straight to the hospital. It was funny because my dad was in the hospital with me. My dad had some sort of sickness. I had pneumonia. My brother was sick too. We were all coming back from traveling, and it was the first time in 2 years I haven't been back to see my mom's side in the family. So we normally spend Christmas and New Year's there, but yeah, that time was rough, and I ended up burning out. I didn't want to do anything anymore. I didn't want to sing. I didn't want to dance. I didn't want to act. I didn't want to. I remember I was thinking about joining military, coming back to the States and joining the military, and or becoming a cop or whatever it was. But I don't know. It was a very confusing part of my life where it was kind of faded after.
And they said burnout can lead to emotional suppression.
Oh yeah.
And at the same time, it kills creativity, your resilience.
You just become numb and blank. You know what I mean? You become numb to the world, and you become blank with your thoughts. You know, the self-infliction is really really serious when it comes to anxiety, and when you're really weak and vulnerable at that time, you know, when you're burnt out, because like your body wants to do so much, but your mind and the rest of it's like, nope. You get sick, you have eating habits, you know, and that's where I fell into deep alcoholism, you know, because it's the only thing that I was happy doing, you know, and that led into other negativity in my life, you know, where I'd be fighting most of the time, or aggression and this and that. So it's different.
Yeah. And you know, alcohol can disrupt also our brain chemistry and our emotional regulation, right?
Most definitely, and I totally agree, and I understand that, and especially being sober now for years, I haven't had a lick of alcohol in 8 years, and it changed my life really completely. You know, I probably deal with jet lag differently now than I would have, but no, I'm actually, even when I'm stressed, I'm less stressed now than I was when I was drinking, you know.
What was the point of your life that you told yourself that I have to stop this, or else it's ruining everything, your career,
I think
family?
when I was the third time in prison, that would do it to anybody. When I got locked up the third time in Hong Kong, well, one time in Hong Kong, I got locked up because I was just drunk, and I was just acting a fool in the middle of the street, and I was locked up for 16 hours. And when I got out, I told Colleen wasn't my wife at that time. She was my fiance at that time. And that's when I decided, yeah, you know what? Enough drinking. I think it's a trigger for me in particular. Well, I had to acknowledge it, but me in particular, I thought I was what do you call that? I was defeated. And I felt like alcohol was the only way out. So I knew that if I stopped alcohol, would have been hard, but if I stopped alcohol, things would be different. And true enough, you know, I ended up losing my weight. I ended up feeling a bit better, but it was difficult though. You know, when you wake up, you look for whiskey and you look for beer, and you look, you know, that was my water before it was beer. So I was such like my dad. But yeah, being in prison opened up my eyes a bit more about what decisions was I making in my life for me, you know, having the consequences that I have. So I had to actually be taught a lesson somehow. So God was really knocking on my door saying like, hey, you better fix your life. And he spoke to me really well, and he spoke to me clearly, and I knew that alcohol was my kryptonite. It was the devil for me. So when I cut that out, that changed everything. I ended up getting married to Colleen like a year after that or so, or 2 years or something.
So Colleen is one of the turning point and having.
Oh no, Colleen was an alcoholic like me. She was 10 years younger. You know, she wasn't an alcoholic, but she held her liquor a bit better than I did, to be honest with you. But you know, she was the one that made me drink more than I should have because she was 10 years younger, and I was trying to impress her. Yeah, but that didn't help at all. But she helped me through the process of recovering, and that's one of the hardest. You know, going through withdrawals, you know, alcohol withdrawals and cigarette withdrawals, tobacco and nicotine and all that stuff. You know, I still vape until now, but I don't drink alcohol and I don't smoke cigarettes.
Thank you for sharing your vulnerable side and authentic side. I think
pleasure.
That's how you are, Billy Joe Crawford, the authentic.
Yeah, be authentic. Yeah. No fake stuff.
Yeah. Relatability too.
Thanks, man.
And I know you had 235 pounds to 168 pounds now.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm less now. I think I'm 160, 164, 165. Yeah, it's a good amount of weight.
So if you could see
when I was in my wedding, I was 134. I was super small, super thin. I was really active. But I lost a lot of weight. But now I'm gaining it back. So
So you change your lifestyle and the way
yeah.
you think.
yeah, the daily routine. My wife has gotten me healthier, has motivated me to become healthier because of our children and because I want to live longer. So I'm eating a lot of healthier stuff. It's only here in the United States that you get to eat fast food, and you look for In-N-Out, and you look for all these sesame chicken but apart from that, we're pretty healthy. We get our stuff organic and stuff like that. So
Right. So for those who can relate with alcohol problems, what can you tell them?
to each his own, really. Everyone has their own way of dealing with certain situations. I can't really tell them to do exactly what I did because it might not work for them as much as it worked for me. But definitely see someone for help. You're not alone in this whole journey of alcoholism. Definitely you need a good supporting partner. Whether your doctor will give you a partner or whether your partner in life, you have to be on the same balance. If you want to make the right decision, you can't just choose your battles. You really have to make a decision. But seek out help. That's number one for people. I think they really have to seek help.
Thank you. And you're part of the Voice Kids Philippines now, right? And you're mentoring new talents who look up to you. How does guiding the next generation of singers reflect where you are now in your life?
Oh, it's actually a bit easier now, I guess, guiding and mentoring these kids, because these kids are so out there and socially inclined, and they learn everything online, and they're good at it. These kids are amazing singers, and you know how it is. Alam mo naman sa Pilipinas, in the Philippines, we have amazing dancers and singers. So these kids are just a breath of fresh air, for us old guys. I'm still in the generation after Gary Vee or Martin Rivera, Kuya Ogie, and all that stuff. Pero to see these 7 to 12-year-old kids really sing their butts off, it's amazing. It's really truly amazing, and it's just a pleasure to meet and to hear these kids and to see how far I could push them, to see if I can win or not.
Wait, you're multi-talented. You can host, you can sing, you can judge, you can do everything.
I think it's just the age and the experience being in the industry since I was really young.
Now, music has always been a part of your identity. How has your relationship with music evolved through your struggles and healing?
I did an album last, I think, 2019 or 2018 called Work in Progress. It's out on Spotify, but it's a lot of songs about me and what I've been through. I have a song called Brand New. I feel brand new in my life right now. I feel like I was born again. And then I have Headed for the Stars, because, going to Dancing with the Stars and all, doing that stuff. There's just a lot of things that I went through, and a lot of artists that I worked with, like Skusta Klee is part of that. I had Tug, rest in peace. He's a rapper from New York who passed away a few years back. I got a couple of other people, and that's where Filipino Girl is in that album as well. So, but right now I'm actually in the middle of recording another album, but for Europe for now. So yeah, it's been quite busy lately.
Yeah, we're very proud of you.
Thanks, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You can compose, you can sing, you can...
Composing, I work with a lot of composers and producers. I don't try to do it by myself. I will never finish if I'm doing it by myself. So I work with a lot of writers and producers from all over the world. So it's definitely a blessing.
Now, for anyone listening right now who might be feeling lost, or they're having internal conflict or struggles with their mental health, maybe even hiding their pain behind their smile, what's one message of hope that you would want to leave with them?
That they're never alone. To everybody that's going through major issues, whether it's health issues, whether it's mental issues, whether it's any particular issues, because the smallest issues can turn into the biggest things. So I think, one, recognize it. I think it's just recognizing that you do have a certain issue or a problem. And two, if it's really bad and it's affecting you in your health as well, is really seek for professional help. Do not try to deal with it alone. Because knowing the fact that you have people that are there who care enough for you not to hurt yourself and not go through things alone. Just a reminder that apart from, God being there, and if your faith is there, I think number one is just they're never alone. People with problems, don't ever think that you are alone in your problems, because everybody has problems. Just my father told me there's no such things as problems, because every problem, there's a solution to it. So that's one thing that kind of sparked my mental health, and saying that, okay, it might be a big or a small problem, doesn't matter what it is, I know that there's a solution for it. So there you go.
You're one of the living proof that making your mental health is also important, and it's part of your brand, right? And also part of your healing and being mindful about it. And when you talk about it, a lot of people could definitely be able to relate to what you're telling them, and be able to at least touch lives, because I can relate with him. I'm dealing with the same problem with him, but he was able to cope effectively.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I think I'm as normal as any human being that goes through the same problems as other people. So I'm not special. I just love what I do. I love my craft. I work on it, and I love doing what I do. So, but I have the same problems as everybody else, like today, I have really major stomach problems today, but, there's just certain things that some people are afraid to tackle and afraid to ask for help. And sadly, it turns into tragedies after, so we don't want that. So that's what I'm saying. Just always reach out to people and family and people that would love and would care for you.
Yes, because there's different attack with how we deal with our mental health between different generation, Gen Z, millennials, and also Gen X.
Yes, there's all these generations, and there's generational curses and all these other things, but I don't see anything different, because we're all human beings. At the end of the day, we all have feelings, and we all have certain ways that we need to deal with these feelings. And I think everybody deals with their emotions differently. That's why it's always important to never judge a book by its cover. But I always think that, I always love talking to people, because I like getting to know people and what their energy is all about. So if they're positive, you get to know it. If they're negative, get away from it. That's it.
Yeah. And then protecting your mind from industry pressures is also important.
Oh yeah.
Setting boundaries.
Oh yeah. I think it's tougher for women, to be honest with you, with all indecent proposals and stuff like that. But for guys, well, for me, I never really had to deal with any of that, but just because I've started so young, and these kids nowadays that they're online automatically. The world can see you. With me, no. I started with commercials, and I was on TV, and my first commercial was Magnolia Chocolate, and Jollibee was my second, and this is during the 80s, so there was no way to see any artists or actors, actresses, singers, or whatnot just on TV. It's either in Eye to Eye with Inday Badiday, or That's Entertainment with Kuya Germs, or Ang TV and Channel 2 before, so those are the only ways that you get to see these kids. But nowadays, kids, you get to post your song instantly. You get to stream your stuff right there in your pocket. So it's completely different, and it's harder now than it has ever been. So it's harder for us old guys to penetrate the new market, but it's also hard for the new kids to get out there because there's so many of them. So it really depends on your faith and how God wants you to succeed in life, I guess.
But you're evolving as an artist, and also I think that's part of being relevant.
Yeah, you always gotta change with the times and go with the flow. I have a song on that album, actually, Go With The Flow, because you really just have to go with the flow and how everything is happening around you.
Like being mindful of the present situation.
Of course.
Not overthinking about the past or overthinking about the future.
It's always hard to move on from pasts, because pasts usually I think are personally the most painful, because you try to move on from the past. That's why you always remember. That's why people always remember the past and the negatives more than they do the good stuff in the past, because it's just heavier to deal with.
Now, thank you, Billy, for that. Your authenticity, resilience, and your journey are what makes you relevant to.
Thanks, bro. Thank you.
And why does being a father matter to you right now?
Well, that's the world to me right now, having my own family, since I'm a daddy's boy back in the days, and mama's boy, but my pops passed away last year, and I just want to be as good or even a better father than my dad was to me, because I adored my dad. So being a father and being a family man has completely changed me, and changed me for the good. So I'm really happy, and I just have to make decisions and go, travel from time to time away from the family, because it's a bit more expensive now since there's a lot of us. But thank God, we're just really thankful, me and my wife still works, and I still work, and my mom is back there in the Philippines now with me, so she gets to take care of baby Austin, and Amari's growing up. He's 5 years old right now, so it's all good, man. It's all blessings.
Yeah, a lot of blessings coming in your way too.
I hope it never stops for all of us.
Yeah. Next time, probably you're doing the US leg. Probably next year you can do Canada. Are you excited?
Yeah, I got family in Canada. Most of my mom's side is in Toronto and Quebec. But next year I'm actually most of the time in Europe. Starting January, I'll be in Europe most of the year. Like 7 months, I'll be in Europe.
Wow.
So I'll be bringing the family there with me for a few months.
How exciting, right?
Yeah, tough. It's gonna be tough, but hey, let's go.
Now tell us about your upcoming show this Friday.
This Friday, please. I know it's a bit last minute, guys, but yes, I'll be in Granada Hills in Hope Auditorium, and it's just going to be a fun party with Garth. Garth Garcia would be there. I'm sharing stage with him. I'm sharing stage with Tootsie, who I went to That's Entertainment with since I was a tiny teener like her. Yeah, it's just going to be an awesome show. Yeah, friends and family, and just all love in Cali. And thank you very much for having me. And I hope to see everybody there this Friday.
Yeah, we'll have a great show for sure.
I hope so. I'm hoping people have a lot of energy, because I like a lot of energy. I like people who dance, who stand up, who claps, who shouts. I don't like people who sits down and does nothing, Doc. So I better see you dance, and I better see everybody dance. So
we're going to be standing and dancing.
I hope so. I hope so.
Now, Billy, one thing, if you're going to talk to your older version of yourself, what will you tell the older Billy?
Oh, the older Billy? Ooh, careful with them alcohol. Careful. If I could have just skipped the trying and really being addicted to alcohol, I would have. So that's it for me. I needed to go through things in my life to actually learn what I'm capable of doing and what I'm capable of being. So I don't regret a lot of things apart from that time of being an alcoholic.
Okay. We were able to offset that barrier from you. We're so proud
by
of
God's
you.
grace. By God's grace. Thank you.
You're
Thank you
living
for that.
proof that everybody could change, right? When they hit rock bottom.
Everybody could change. It's just you make life what you want. It's a choice that God gave us. We have freedom to be what we want to be, but so choose wisely.
Thank you for that. And recovery model is important. There's always hope. Want to still hope for those who are not able to suppress their alcohol cravings, addiction. You know that alcohol can actually trigger more dopamine levels, which could hit you.
Really screw you up. Yep.
Yeah, it's going to screw you up if you don't seek an early intervention.
That's
but
right.
it always needs to start from accepting that there's a problem, right?
Exactly that. You know, I've been through my fair share of psych therapies and here and that, but I think that's the biggest thing that people lack is the acceptance and acknowledging that there is a problem. People are afraid, so stop being afraid. You know, be courageous and as I said, to all problems there's a solution for it. So, like, thank you for doctors like you that are in the industry that you're in. So.
Yeah, seeking help is not a sign of weakness, but a form of courage and a form of healing.
Absolutely. The earlier you start, the earlier you can recover, the better.
And you got a great support system too.
Oh, yes, I do. I owe it all to my family and especially my wife. My wife is doing everything right now. Like, literally, she is the mother and the father right now of my 2 kids. So, my love, I'm sorry. I'll be home soon.
Yeah, we would love to meet her next time. You bring her to LA.
Yeah, if I come back to LA and if I'm staying more than a month in the United States, I'll definitely bring my family with me. So it's a bit easier to situate them. But if I'm traveling a lot, it's hard. It's hard with a new baby. So we don't have money for yayas in America. It's way too expensive here, man.
Yeah, bring the in-laws.
Yeah, exactly. I got to bring my mom again.
Thank you, Billy Joe Crawford. Any last message to those who are listening right now?
Get up out of your seats this Friday and watch the concert, Bright Lights with Billy Crawford, and a lot of fun times. So Friday, I hope to see everybody there. And thank you again, man.
Thank you.
I really appreciate your time.
Here you go again, guys. I've been watching him to different shows, different ABS and GMA shows. And now
I'm all over the place now, so I'm sorry.
Yes. Thank you, Billy. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Mindfully Healing.
Appreciate
See you
it.
at the show.
Yes, I'll definitely see you, man.
Thanks for listening to Mindful Moments with Pedro Morante. Be sure to follow the podcast so you'll never miss an episode. If you find value in our time together, leave a quick review. It helps more people discover the space we're creating. For updates and more reflections, follow us on social media. Until next time, take care.